Hello and welcome to the second round of the Georgia Flying Disc Festival at North Georgia Canopy Tours in Lula, Georgia. I am Matt Dollar, and today our lead card will be myself at 12 under par, Cody Britain at 11 under, John Matlack at 9 under, and David Feldberg at 8 under. So we had a ghost card also starting on hole 1, so we got 8 guys here. The lead card's going to go off first.
You get some gloves in.
Awesome.
I've got a Neutron Soft Envy in my hands here for hole number 1. Hole 1 doesn't play very long, but it is extremely tight. You really just got to hit that first gap and continue to move very straight.
Thank you.
So the one bad thing about this hole is the green has a bunch of trees around it, and the green is on a slope. So a lot of times you'll see a decent shot get down there and hit on that slope near the green and just kind of roll back off, maybe even down into the woods. I was lucky that it did not do that to me. My good shot was rewarded. There's another good shot. That's Cody Britain. Cody's sponsored by Discraft, and he's out of Cumming, Georgia.
Can't believe I just got through those 2 little trees right there.
Now we got my good buddy John Matlack here. Matlack is unsponsored as of now. He's rated at 980. I see John Matlack on a lot of videos of disc golf around the South. He is a frequent competitor on the lead card and chase card at many events. And then the most recent Georgia transplant, we got Dave Feldberg. Dave hits the initial gap, gets it turned over just a little bit too much, catches a little bit of a roll down the hill. He'll probably be about 60, 70 feet. And as advertised, looks like about a 60, 70 footer. He's going to have Anheuser the entire way, or at least towards the end of the flight. Unless he's going to ride it really close to that big tree. Oh my goodness, what an amazing bid from Dave. That was a great putt. He is a little lucky that it didn't roll back down the hill after it hit the band, though. Most times if you hit the basket on this hole, you're going to roll. Anytime you're stuck on that left side, short of the basket like Matlack was, it's just really obstructed putt. Cody knocks home his birdie there. Matlack and Dave will take pars. I'll be putting with the Electron Soft Envy.
Good too.
I've kind of been going back and forth between the Electron Soft and the regular Electron Envies. It's been really hot in the South, so I've been going to a little bit stiffer Electron Envy instead of the Electron Soft when it's cooking like this. 2 2s, 2 3s. We'll keep a 1-stroke separation between myself and Cody in first and second. And I've got that same Neutron Soft Envy in my hands again. Hole 2, 280 feet. You really want to go to the right of that tree that's highlighted by sun, but to the left of that tree that I hit. This hole seems to have like a suction, force field on the left side and like a suction on the right side. Anytime someone throws a shot that looks like it's going straight down the right side gap, usually gets sucked into that right side trees. This is a more frequent miss by the locals. You hit that initial gap, and then you just, if you miss, you make sure you miss left.
Horseshoe.
Cody calls horseshoe there. Cody has been a team captain many times, and his team is usually called the Horseshoe Crew. Not sure what Matlack's throwing here. He just does a little one-stepper approach, and he's followed Cody's line. He's going to go early of the final gap, but it'll skip up there into putting range. In years past, I've just thrown a thumber on this hole to the left of the
hit.
tree that's in the sunlight and just played it to kind of crash into that kind of thin left side that those two guys just threw their shots into. It's a good way to always have a putt, or at least, you know, some kind of look inside 40 or 50 feet. Wow, Dave throws a beautiful looking shot. I believe that was his mace. And it just barely was a little early, but it cut through those trees and pops right in there for the easy birdie. I got that Electron Soft Envy. Actually, both those discs in my hands are Electron Soft Envies.
Good bid.
Looks like I really thought I was going to dial that one up. Looked like a pretty good bid, but we'll take the par and move along. Cody's got a nice long birdie putt from a knee. He's forced to straddle out, but he's got a clear look.
Oh, get it in the air.
Matlack does make good on his birdie from that left side. I'll tap out for the par. Dave's going to have a nice little birdie here. When playing this course, if you start on hole 1, you really want to get a good little run going through holes 1, 2, and 3. Ideal to be 3 under through 3 holes, but you know, 2 under through 3 is good too. So hole 3 says 295, plays a lot shorter, but you're throwing very down the hill. Beautiful camera view from the catch cam here. Matlack just throws a gem. He's going to be about 15 feet for the birdie. There is a big hyzer shot here as well, but you really don't see any of the high-level players throwing it. Dave's got a Cenas in his hands. It was so humid this weekend here at Georgia Flying Disc Festival. It was like low 90s, but the humidity was unbelievable. And Dave with a pin seeker comes in, hits right at the base of the pole.
Oh, on the pole, hit the pole.
Is that what it hit?
Yeah.
We heard a little bit of ding. It's hard to see the pin from the tee pad. If you're standing a little off center right, you got a better chance. But great shot from Dave. That'll net him an easy birdie. Looks like I'm going to switch to the flippier Electron Soft NB, so I can throw it softer and more hyzer. Let it ride. Oh, basket hit.
Man. Oh, I don't know. Is that the catcher? I don't know what it hit. Sounded good. Sounded like metal. Yeah, it sounded like the catcher.
Yeah, it made a weird ding, so I didn't realize it was the disc catcher itself. I guess if that would have been just a little higher and a little shorter, it would have been in, but I'll take the metal hit to give me a short birdie putt. Hopefully. Here's Cody Britain. Cody's on a very nice line here. Starting to hyzer back to the pin, and he will have a little bit of a long putt, but it's probably right about circle's edge and uphill. That's the real danger on this hole. If you do make the gap, it's really easy to go too far. And that creek behind the pin is OB. Cody's only about, I'd say 12 feet from the creek. Cody gives it a good bid, but he's a little bit too high. Leaves him a little bit of a comebacker. He's able to put it in there. And the rest of the cars should be picking up pretty easy birdies here. Man, I am looking next level ridiculous in this tournament right now. With that big mustache and that, I don't know, farmer's hat. So 2 metal strikes on back-to-back shots from Dave Feldberg and myself. Everybody's under par for the round. I've got a 2-stroke lead on Cody now, and we'll move on to hole 4, 365 feet, where John Matlack will have the tee. You heard all Matlack called the commentary himself there. Told it had to turn, it didn't do it. He asked it to hit the tree, and it did. As a good soldier does, he thanks the tree for its service. Feldberg likes this hole. He threw it too far in round one, way too far. So he tried to throw it lower and softer here. He's gonna end up a little bit short. That's kind of the tricky part of this hole. It's like the ceiling out there is low enough to where you can't just like smash a mid-range. You kind of have to throw the driver. And so it's a little difficult to gauge how hard to throw it because of the low ceiling. You don't get a lot of skip out here in the morning either. I'm going with my favorite disc this weekend, the Neutron Wrath. Beat Wrath. Hashtag Beat Wrath. Almost grabs the pole hit. I gotta say, I was really excited to have another birdie opportunity on hole 4. It is one of the tougher par 3s, and to get it both rounds would be definitely a bonus. Cody's throwing the Heat by Discraft, a flippy fairway. I guess it kind of transcends fairway in distance. He just smoothed that one out. Oh, that is excellent. That's a CTP for now. Very nice shot from Cody. So Matlack is over here on the left side. It's a little bit thinner than it used to be, so he's got some room to work with. He's able to straddle out to a knee, and he's going to throw a little forehand touch shot. It's a good shot from Matlack. Might have slid down that hill a little bit, but still will be inside range. Looks like Dave is, I don't know, circle's edge, just outside. If he's not stepping in it, must be inside. There it is. Dave Feldberg with a great birdie on hole 4. Yeah, it looks like it was just at the circle's edge. He didn't want to risk the jump, I guess. Wow, I scooted on a little further than I thought, so I got a little bit of a comebacker here. Able to get that NV in on the left side, though. John Matlack. Matlack is one of the most casual short-range putters I have seen. And by short range, I mean like inside 25. But hey, he knocks them in, so. I'm also a pretty casual putter inside 25 feet, but. Alright, here we are on hole A, 370 feet uphill across the pond into the field of macro black holes. And there's one regular black hole up there as well. Oh, Dave has thrown a beautiful hyzer shot. Oh, wow, Kim's done a little bit short. He might have clubbed down and went with a slower disc this time.
Going for that macro basket for a second.
Looks like I've got the Neutron Photon in my hands. I'm going to try to copy Dave's line, but just throw it harder. Almost lost the sunglasses. Gave it plenty wide enough. Ooh, doesn't get back, but does park the macro basket.
That almost did get the macro basket.
And on cue, I call it out right there. Cody's throwing a really nice direct line towards the basket here. Wow, it ran out of steam too. Everyone's coming up short here. Alright, I bet Matlack will break the curse. You watch 3 people come up short in a row. I'm gonna guess you're making an adjustment. I think that might be a destroyer from Matlack. Oh my goodness, and he hits the rock on the base of the basket. We're going to get a replay from the other angle. all the way. Beautiful shot from John Matlack. Man, had that been a little higher, that might have went in and got him on Sports Center. Maybe next time, John.
Beautiful shot. You hit the rock. Propping up the base shot.
Alright, well, they looked pretty short when they were coming in, but Cody looks like he's only about 20 feet, 25 feet. Well, that's weird. I'm surprised he missed it, but then I'm more surprised that the disc stood up and is leaning on the CTP flag. And another nice birdie putt from Dave Feldberg. That's 4 birdies in a row for Dave. Dave was definitely not happy with his score in round 1. And he knew that he was just inches on a lot of shots from getting a lot of birdies. I definitely expected him to come out and shred today. So 4 birdies in a row this early in the round. Not a big surprise. So Dave and myself are both 4 under for the round. John's at 3 under for the round and Cody's at 2. And I currently have a 3-stroke lead on Cody and 4 strokes on Dave and John. Now we're going to play hole B, the short island hole that I threw my favorite fireball into the creek and is still gone forever. And that was the exact same shot that lured me into trying the fireball the day before, Dave throwing his spark on a hyzer. Actually, that might have been the Triple X. But back to the normal game plan. I take out my Neutron Soft NB and I'm just going to crush the hyzer here. Play it really wide.
A little hard on that one, huh?
I bent over and just came out.
Definitely a better result than the day before. Matlack's going to play that same big hyzer shot as... Oh, no, he's not. He's going with the low hyzer. Oh, that's got to get moving. Oh, that's tough.
Threw it too low.
Yep, he knew it out of his hand. Threw it just a little too low. Cody's taking, it looks like a jawbreaker challenger here. Oh no, the way he threw that, that must be a zone. Dang, yeah, that disc was crazy overstable. Must have been a jawbreaker zone. If that's a thing. I think it's a thing. So this is our drop zone here on hole B. Matlack's going to float the Nova down there. Matlack's been throwing the Nova for a couple of years. He throws it really well. I tell him it's a broken overmold because it has the pieces attaching it on the bottom, but, you know, overmolds are good stuff. Cody leaves his bid a little bit short on the downhill circle 3 putt. Dave's got about 10 feet, maybe 12 feet for 5 birdies in a row here. I love this course so much. Not just the course, but the property. You hear all the birds and you see the beautiful green foliage. And, man, it's just a great place to be. Great place to spend a weekend. Alright, after hole B, we're going to move back over to the normal course, over to hole 5, which is the windmill hole, par 4, with the OB line down the tree line on the right. Well, the tree line in the middle, rather, this little set of trees. Basically, it just keeps you from throwing over into 6's fairway or trying to bite off too much. This used to be just a total grip and rip hole, although these days it's changed a little bit. Those trees have gotten big enough out there in the fairway, in the landing zone, and they've gotten big enough on the green to make it way more difficult if you try to throw a full power tee shot. So for the guys that throw 400, I'd say over 400 feet, you actually want to just kind of lay off of it just a little bit so that you make sure you don't get too far and get stuck behind one of those big trees and have no second shot. At only 665 feet, you kind of get to choose when you bite off the biggest chunk of distance. Matlack's throwing a laser line hyzer here. That is a nice shot. Everybody's being conservative. This is smart golf here. At the first Georgia Flying Disc Festival, we had a distance competition, and Will Schuster threw it. I think he threw one to the road here, which is insane. This year, Josh Hollingsworth out of Mobile, Alabama, won the distance competition, smashing a huge forehand. It was controlled distance, so you had to land inbounds. It was one of the extra field events, one of the 6 extra field events we had for this weekend. Alright, so Cody's lining up here for like a 300-foot shot, 350-foot shot, and he just flexes this driver perfectly. From as far back as he was, that was a pretty scary shot. Matlack looks like he has a rock in his hands. This is a smarter play because you're just going to keep it turning to the right, or at least I think that's his intention. Wow, that was a laser that almost caught Clay, our catch cam guy. I'm going to go with the soft neutron Envy again. And thrown it deep. That is not going to give me a putt, probably. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a little worse than round 1 where I threw it over there. So 2 good drives on this hole, and see my face there. I know that I did not throw a good second shot. Or a good enough second shot. Alright, so Dave's at kind of a weird angle. Looks like he's, I guess, lining up a big hyzer. I think if he played here more often, he'd probably just throw the a mid-range up the middle. Well, it got him back onto the putting green, but that is a scary putt. Slightly obstructed, and the creek is back there behind him. I would not be surprised to see Dave just lay this up. Yeah, that's a smart play. That's just a little too far to run. If you remember in round 1, I hit the rim on the basket with my putt from shorter range, but the same side as Dave, and was just barely safe because there's like a little sandbar extending out off the creek there. So Cody's going to be the only one here with the chance at the birdie after having the shortest drive. It just shows you, like I was referencing earlier, you know, you get to choose when you bite off the most amount of distance on this hole, and the shortest drive gets the birdie here. That's a really good second shot CTP. Looks like it's against the pole. Alright, so I now have a 4-stroke lead. I'm 5 under for the round, and so is Dave. Dave's moved into a tie for second place with Cody. Well, I guess he actually had the second place before that hole. Alright, we're back on hole 6. It is one of our 2 par 5s this weekend. And this one has that OB line on the right side that separates hole 5 and hole 6. Cody plays a nice safe drive. We'll put him in the middle. Just like hole 5, this hole is all about positioning. You can basically, you don't have to be super accurate with your first shot or cover a ton of distance. You just have to land in the open. And if you do that, then you throw the skilled shot, which is basically, oh no, Dave is chased up into the woods here.
I mean, it should be. I'm only throwing it 100 feet from there, right?
He said, it should be okay, I'm only throwing it 100 feet from there, right? So what he's referencing is, you have to get that second shot in front of the landing zone to throw up the hill. And if you throw really far on the first shot, it's not very far to lay up to the gap. Dave tried to go over the top last time. This time he's just going to be laying up back to the gap. That was my photon again, just playing it super safe with a big hyzer. Normally I want to drive past that short tee. Alright, we got John Matlack on the tee. He's going to throw a safe little hyzer shot and try to just get in position near that short tee.
That's fine. Dang it.
He didn't throw it hard, but he went pretty far past the short tee, at least by 50 or 60 feet. So it's a nice drive. Even though he's up on the left side, he should be able to pitch into position pretty easily. That is my backup fireball, and that is way short. There was old Snappy Cole up there on the green with the funny farmer's hat. Cody lays up, looks like a pretty decent position.
I need to be a little further.
Matlack's going to try to throw a sidearm here, or is it a forehand roller? It's sketchy. Oh, that's a good shot though. You got to be really careful there. If you do hyzer out on that shot and penetrate that tree line on the right, you could get out of bounds and then still be blocked off by the trees. Dave Feldberg with a forehand. That was a really good shot. He's going to have a very nice position to try to get up there. He got a little bit unlucky with how it just grabbed right where it landed. Had it slid like another 10 feet, he'd have had a much easier shot. Cody threw a really good shot there, but from as far back as he was, it's just hard to get all the way up there. And plus, he got really unlucky with that bounce to the right. That was a forehand with something. That was either, I don't even know. Could have been the fireball or it could have been the photon. Matlack throws a great shot, but he's just a little too low and catches that hill face up there. That last shelf is just hard to get over. So yeah, Dave actually was short. That grab just really cost him. If it would have just slid a little bit on his last shot, he would have had a pretty easy look at birdie. Now he's going to have to try and save his par by getting up and down out of the right side woods here. Yeah, that's no problem. Dave has parked it. Probably looking at about 60 feet, but it's just straight uphill. I tried to throw it over the basket. I was like, you're going to be short no matter what. So I aimed over the basket and still came up short of the basket. What? Cody Britain from the right side in the woods.
Wow.
Wow. That was an insane shot. That's going to be a birdie for Cody. That's an amazing birdie. Oh, Matlack throws a really good looking putt. It just barely moves too far left after it hits the chains and it's not going to stick. Cody will be the only birdie of the group. Climbs back into solo second place after going birdie on 5-6. Check out the whole sign there. Mikey Golden is the tee sponsor for this. Shout out to Mikey Golden for not only being a sponsor, but also for winning the mini disc golf competition side event for the weekend. Congrats to Mikey for his not perfect round. He shot 8 under on the 9-hole course. Pretty impressive. Hole 7, one of my favorite par 3s. 340 feet. Got to pure the gap and finish left, and it says 340, but this thing plays 370 for sure. Maybe even more. The trick is to stay to the, well, now what we're viewing, the right side of that tree in the fairway, just like Dave did. That's one of the best shots you're going to see on this hole. I guess not the best shot of the weekend because it looks like he is just outside the CTP marker there. But excellent shot nonetheless, and that's going to get Dave back on the birdie train after missing holes 5 and 6. That would be the incorrect side of the tree that you're trying to throw. Yeah, I said it right. Anyway, I parked the macro basket, and that's not good for a birdie in disc golf, so probably just have to try and pitch out of there and get a par. Gonna lose another stroke to Dave, but luckily I built up a couple strokes of cushion in day 1.
Oh, you didn't flip up. That's not good.
Not sure where Matlack's finished there, but he said that's not good, so... Oh, now we see. So if you hear that crazy noise in the background, that's the actual, the zipliners at North Georgia Canopy Tours. This is first and foremost a zipline facility. And, you can hear them coming through those woods screaming through, so... You get used to it once you're playing here a lot. My favorite is on hole 1. There's like a giant zip tower really close to hole 1, and they actually have 2 zip lines that race over a lake at the same time from that one, and when they count you down to go, it's 3, 2, 1, zip. And so generally you're standing on the tee pad getting ready to throw, and then someone counts you down, 3, 2, 1. How do you not throw right then? Alright, Cody Britain for the very good birdie on hole 7. Looks like he's probably at circle's edge. That short putt is, or that low putt is going to have him lose solo second place to Dave. Dave's going to jump back into a tie for second with this birdie here. Everybody else is just going to take the par, which is not too bad here. Dave's walking off the CTP. He's hoping he has it, but he's just outside. Oh, actually, Matlack got a bogey there on hole 7, which is pretty standard if you get off the fairway on that first shot. We're going to move on to hole 8, which will actually be our 10th hole of the round. Big shout out to the hole sponsor, Bill Thornton here. Bill Thornton is always one of the biggest sponsors for my events, and I just cannot put on these crazy complex events without his support. Big thanks, Bill Thornton. Alright, the short 200-foot hole number 8, gotta park it, and Dave has done just that. This is that hole where it's just like, it should be a really easy birdie. You just take your putter and throw it low and just kind of bounce it up there, but it's really hard not to fall into the temptation of ace running this hole, because it is just framed up right in front of you. Oh boy, Cody has gotten a really bad break here. Cody always trying to look on the bright side of things, said, well, it's a putt, I guess. I don't think I would have taken it that well. Whew. Soft Electron Envy comes up just a little short left, but that's going to be a birdie unlike round 1. Or at least it should be a birdie. Looks like Matlack has an old pumpkin face AVR. That was a pretty popular spot to land. Well, I guess all 4 of us landed in that area. 2 skipped, 1 stopped, and 1 rolled all the way down the hill. I'm going to card the birdie there from about 20 feet. Dave's just going to tap his in.
He's like, I'm good, just put it down.
Cody just has that left for par. You can see another macro basket back there in the background. I love this weekend. This weekend at North Georgia Canopy Tours, just baskets all over the property. So much fun. Alright, here's hole number 9. 290 feet, plays uphill, slightly left, onto the top of that little mound. This is dicey. Oh my goodness, he skipped before he got to the hillside, and that enabled him to jump up there. He likes it. He should have a birdie putt. That's a good shot from Dave. This hole's hard because it has kind of a low ceiling, but you have to keep it high enough to get up the hill. I'm going to go with that Beat Wrath. It comes in a little bit short, but it's going to give me a putt for the birdie. Maybe around circle's edge or just outside.
Oh, I changed that one. No, I changed that one. Sorry.
Matlack's going mid-range here, it looks like. Oh, nope, never mind. That is a T-bird in his hands. Got a little bit of beef. Gonna skip out to the left, but that's a really good tee shot.
That's a good one. Thanks.
So we got 3 guys on the green putting for birdie. Let's see what Cody Britain can do here. Looks like he's also taking out a fairway driver. He plays something less stable than the rest of us and has it stand up a little straighter. And him and Matlack are going to be buddies over there.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice shots from the group here on hole number 9.
Ends up being 20 foot.
So we've got Dave. Dave's actually a little further than I thought he was. He's probably like just outside the circle. Maybe at circle's edge. Slightly uphill and a little bit weird footing. It's going to be just a little too tricky this time. Alright, looks like my shot was probably just at circle's edge. Almost goes in there too high, but that's one thing I love about disc catchers. They catch those center high putts all the time. Matlack casually taps in his bird. And Cody gets his birdie too, so 3 out of the 4 grab birdies here on hole 9, which I believe will be our last hole of the video before we come back with the second part of round 2. And there's some big putts and even a big throw-in in the second half. And then after that we will have the finals, which is just final 6 holes, which will include that Sports Center moment. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Big shout out to Clay and Michelle Jones at Fox Hills Disc Golf Productions for recording and producing these videos. Big shout out to MVP Disc Sports, who's my sponsor and also the title sponsor for this event. Thanks to Jim Lapino, North Georgia Canopy Tours, of course, and just basically everyone that had anything to do with this event. I appreciate you so much for watching. Please subscribe to Fox Hills Disc Golf Productions and to Matt Dollar Disc Golf. And please join us back for the next video.